is my, like, the stream being weird, like I'm live right now, you know? So I'm confused on why this thing is not working. How's everybody doing today? You guys ready to trade? What's going on, Gucci? Chillin'? Hey man, what's going on? What's going on, Shakirs? Whoever is on the Telegram, make sure you guys join in. We are trading now live on YouTube. If you guys do want to see the charts that I'll be explaining, make sure you guys join the YouTube. So, looking at US 30, obviously market opened. We went over this yesterday where price obviously was going to take this liquidity. We see how we had that marked off perfectly, rebalanced that, and then we took off the highs again. We're still expecting some longs, if I'm honest, for SPX or US 30. I don't expect price to continue dropping lower at all. I still see the longs kind of gearing for US 30. The question is, you know, to what price will we? You know, if we look at price, we can see that we did take off some liquidity down here. And we are at a level that potentially could act as a level of demand. This last order block could potentially act as a level of demand where price might want to start pushing up higher. So we're going to keep our eyes on that as we are looking at price. This is going to be for S&P and of course US 30. So I'm looking now to see some type of rebalance that makes sense. You know, these highs up here, obviously a lot of liquidity to be placed above. You know, we are at a level where price could potentially again drop down lower, rebalance price, and go from there. If we look at price, we had a nice momentum push up here, and again the liquidity has been been taken. Right? We see how liquidity has been taken. We have one drive, we have two drives. We're waiting for now is more of some supply levels starting to demand where we can look at that on the M1 and then capitalize on the longs for that to take off the highs above. Right, we'll have TP1 right here, and then we have TP2 right above the highs up there. So that's a nice bullish move that we got right now for S&P, which is what we're looking at. We'll see what price does from there. Looking at M1, again, liquidity grabbed. Not really much of structure yet, so we can't really focus on just that entire long candle until structure presents itself. Yesterday for gold, it was unfortunate. You know, we did have the shorts gearing. We wanted price to go back up from here. It ended up rejecting these levels of supply, and then we ended up dropping towards the new week opening gap, is what we had marked off. And then we can see how we respected that perfectly, right? It rebalanced that new week opening gap that we had marked off yesterday, and from there we have taken up higher. If we look at price still, we still haven't really done much, right? Like we still haven't taken the highs at all. So price should still continue to try to take these highs right above here. You know, we're still sitting above in this kind of range, but overall we are bullish with gold. So what I'm trying to see is, you know, where's the liquidity placed? Where can you guys see the liquidity is placed? Or what makes sense to get on these shorts? And then from there, we could be seeing if something makes sense to continue and capitalize on that for price to obviously drop down lower. If we do look at price here for gold, right? Now we look at smaller time frames here, or we look at the overall picture. What's going on, Miguel? Chilling? I want to see now where the liquidity was placed for New York session. So obviously the liquidity is still down here, like the session liquidity. You know, yesterday's session liquidity was down here. We took up the highs, and then we started dropping, and we took up the lows in the PM session. Now it's not to say that price can't take off the lows here. You know, that might happen, but again, price to me still looks like we're in a bullish state. Again, looks like we just took off some liquidity there, and we might start pushing up higher there, right? I start seeing, I'm going to start marking off my levels that actually make sense here of demand. And then from there, if these levels start being broken, we can start seeing the liquidity being taken down here, right? If we look at M1 and look at our levels of supply, or what makes the most sense, we can see how we are making some monitoring from levels of supply here, like this one right here. We rebalance this. This could be a level where potentially we drop down, and we have made some type of liquidity down here with this could potentially be a level where price might want to rebalance and take off all these levels here, right? But again, we don't know yet. We have to wait and see how price does react. We have a lot of potential POIs where price could reject from, and we have to start seeing again supplies start being broken first, because supply is being respected on the small time frames with gold. Looking at US30, looks like we took off the highs. We're still not building, not quite any structure. Honestly, I do like the way this is set up here, so I might just take these longs here for gold. For SPX, we took off the lows here. We rebalance this M1, and we could take off a small time frame level here, just being conservatively once we take off this small high up here. A short-term long for sure for S&P. Yeah, we're gonna take this. Actually, no, we're not. I need to see more structure. Like, what am I saying? This is just like one little M1 candle. We still kind of respected this level of supply up here. If we really look at it, this level of supply was still respected. So these levels are still being respected within S&P, right? We're still respecting all these levels of supply. We should have anything start seeing price drop down to down here, which is what I'm looking at more. We could start seeing price for S&P drop down to this wick down here, which is actually what I will be taking over here. So since I see that level being respected right there, we're gonna go ahead and take off these levels over here. I'm gonna take the shorts from here, the true day open shorts, the highs, and then we're looking for the lows right here to get basically hit. So this will be our S&P setup right now. Let me know if you guys are in that. I'm gonna get in that right now as we speak. Or US30, sorry. There she goes, there she goes. There is the melt, my guys. There's the melt. Really fast. No hesitation whatsoever. So easy to read the market sometimes, right? So easy to read the market. Here's the sell that we had for US30. If you guys, again, want to see this trade panned out, it was live. We called it here, started seeing market potentially at this level of demand, but no, we have supply still being respected. So we should start seeing price drop down, at least take off the lows of London. We could drop even down even lower, but we do have London lows here that have just been grabbed. We should start seeing price easily take down these lows here and lock in this 2-to-1 in this little morning trade right here. That's what we're in right now. And then I'm still kind of keeping my eyes on gold. That's a very bullish sign that we had on gold. We took off levels of supply, respected that, dropped down. But again, these levels of supply are being not really ideal for us. Like, we haven't really seen, there's still too much liquidity down here for me to want to take this, right? There's liquidity down here. It's still not enough for me to take this long with ease. If the liquidity down there doesn't get broken for the short term, we can't take that long for gold, right? We have now reached a bigger time frame M5 level here with gold. And we're looking at price up here. This could be a level where potentially we sweep down and now start respecting to drop down lower. and take off the lows over here. There's too much liquidity down here where I don't see that not happening. I'm gonna keep my eyes on that and start seeing the price actually does want to drop down there. And we could potentially take a nice little short there if it presents itself. For the short-term lows, of course. And we are absolutely melting with S&P or US 30. Should be taking those lows pronto. Very soon, guys, very soon. This is just beautiful, right? Look at this structure with S&P. You know, probably the better pair to trade overall. You can see a stop hunt right here. And what do you guys see here? We can see we have the London liquidity just perfectly grabbed. And we have this level of supply which we dropped down from. And then liquidity being induced, so we want to come higher. And now we should be taking the lows of London right there. It's just a beautiful trade for the intraday trader, of course. You know, price could definitely just rebalance all the way down to around these levels here, where it makes the most sense because we are in oversold territory from this overall H1 push. Overall price is still super stuck with S&P. Not really enjoying the price action all too much. I'm gonna break even here if I'm being honest. Might just hit that. That's fine. Overall, I did know that we are going to be bullish here. But I did want to take the short-term shorts there. That's okay by me. I don't mind that. Do have a smaller level right here of supply. Our last level of supply. We'll see if that will reject enough for the price to drop down lower and take off the liquidity down low. If not, we will be stopped at a break even, and it's not the end of the world, you know what I mean? But we could be respecting down there to TP. Bro, what if it's supposed to break even? I always have to stop at loss. Did it hit your break even? It should have not hit your break even yet. Break even is above right here. So break even would be where the entry would be at, which would be right above here. Let's say you took an entry like down here. I would still recommend putting your stop loss to where my break even would be. So my apologies for not like writing down where the break even would be, but yeah, just make sure that you understand that wherever I say that break even is going to be at, is going to be wherever the original entry that I have set to. You get what I'm saying? So even if I'm taking like a small loss, to me it's break even because that's where I put my first entry. I'm going to start charging my... I actually have Google glasses, which are so far because with those I can just stream the like through my phone to you guys on the Instagram, which would be good. But I don't even know where they are, or my Meta glasses, or they're called. I need to find them. Meta glasses. Where could they be? Oh, I found them. Here they are. I didn't have any battery. We'll check. I highly doubt so. We will check. Once they turn these on, I like this. And they have no battery. So I can't show you guys the stream today with the glasses. But tomorrow we definitely will. These are the Ray-Ban glasses, so you can like stream here. It shows like the entire camera. So tomorrow I'll get you guys, for sure we'll be streaming with these. Like no doubt whatsoever on mine that we'll be streaming with these tomorrow. No, would you look at that? I could even use the like a normal charger right here to stream from. That's fire. And there goes US 30 dropping down to our TP. Let's fucking go, guys. Let's go. Check it out, guys. Check it out. My trade right here. Beautiful trade in the morning. We had this drop down here. We were looking at potentially people are going to be looking for the longs here, which is not going to happen. We had price and rebalance that, and then we're looking for price to drop down through there, which is just, I mean, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Another trade showed live with all my viewers. Look at that TP about to be smacked. You guys know how it goes. Make sure you guys are tuning into the live stream every single day at 9:30 a.m. EST. Let's get it. Another trade showed live with all my viewers. Look at that TP about to be. Let's go, guys. Let's fucking go. Every single day at 9:30 a.m. EST. Let's get it. Another trade showed live with all my viewers. Look at that TP about to be smacked. You guys know how it goes. Make sure you guys are tuning into the live stream every single day at 9:30 a.m. EST. Let's get it. I really hate the way the SPX is sometimes, where like it doesn't really want to drop down, or US 30, you know, it's the same thing. It doesn't really want to drop down towards like your TP, and it just like stays stuck there for a little bit. Like, it's so annoying. I just dropped, my brother. Look at this right now. I'm looking bullish. Gold. Still looking a little bit sketchy here. Still have these levels of supply being respected, which is fine. So don't really have to worry about much just yet. Could drop even lower than this, I'm being quite honest, with US 30, but we shouldn't have to take that, you know, we should be good. We should see an aggressive push down now, where people have their stop losses. Stop losses are going to be set all over here, like everywhere here. So we should start seeing an even bigger push down to where our original TP is. We could start seeing price drop down, possibly down to like, let me give you guys like a rough estimate. It could be going down to like down here to like the 42642. Obviously I'm not going to take it down there, but you know, that's where price could drop down from, because again, if we look at structure overall, here we have London liquidity, so a lot of liquidity was placed here, a lot of longs were placed here. We could start seeing price now drop aggressively towards that stop loss, towards people's stop loss, not ours, because you know we trade SMC, of course. There it is. See that aggressive push? There it is. So perfect. That was a quick one. It was, right? You like that? What's going on in the shoe? Yeah, so pretty easy trade. Honestly, if you guys wanted to have a little bit of a better explanation for me, like a better explanation of how this trade was occurred, like I wouldn't mind explaining to you guys, but you know, it's pretty easy to open. True, they opened. We took off the highs right here. Could have confused people to now be looking to rebalance that to drop down lower. No, it's going to continue dropping lower because we are showing supply signs in this true day open right now, right? So we are going to keep monitoring this because again, I still see price going up higher. For sure, we do take off these levels of supply. We could start seeing demand being respected, and we could take up the highs up here, sitting at the 42820 mark. And we did just take off this aggressive stop losses from London, so we could start seeing now a complete shift within the setup. We look at H1 as well. We're back down below to this, you know, almost reaching this breaker that we have before over here. You know, we did just tap into it, so it's pretty good to see. So we just tapped into our breaker. We could even take like long-term longs here. I'm not saying that I would do that because it's not worth it for me. I don't trade like that, but I do trade long-term longs. I'm saying like overall, like a big stop loss, I don't like having that. You know, my long-term longs, I usually would risk like, I'll do an intraday trade. Like for example, for gold, I have a long-term long, but my trade was risking $10,000 to make $30,000, right? And then now that I'm sitting at $30,000, I'm just letting it run. I have break even and I already closed some profits. So I already closed the 10K that I was risking, and now we're just letting it run to potentially hit like 100K if it does go up there, you know? But anyways, for US 30, here we have our level of supply or our breaker, right? Which we dropped, we took up the liquidity below, went back up higher. We could start seeing now price, or this order block, sorry, start seeing price respect from this level on a smaller time frame scope. But overall, we have to start seeing if now supply is being rejected overall. And then same thing for gold, right? Gold is now taking these highs up here. Little liquidity placed below, but we were unable to respect levels of supply, so demand is still being respected on this bigger time frame scope. We just hit this breaker here, and we're respecting out of all these levels here of supply on the smaller time frame scope. So we shouldn't be seeing price drop down from here just quite yet. But the liquidity is obviously placed where we look at liquidity. Wait, what happened there? If we look at liquidity, obviously liquidity is placed on here. We have Asian and London session hasn't still been grabbed, so all of this is going to be liquidity that has been built through the sessions. But again, of course, we're still bullish. And then look at that right now, respecting of this. We will keep our eyes on this, seeing if price does want to actually reject at these levels of demand and now start acting as them. Sorry, these levels of supply and now start acting as demand. Okay, so aggressive push to the upside now once we take off all those stops. And nice strong push here on this level of supply here. Now turn to demand. So now we start looking at our M1 levels of demand, of where potentially we could start going up higher now to take off the liquidity above. Look at that aggressive push. That's very nice. So we're respecting now all levels of, we're breaking every single level of supply that we had in the smaller time frames. Now we're looking for is our first level of demand to be respected on the smaller time frames. We already have the structure, so we don't have to focus on this. We don't have to focus on anything here. We have to focus on the overall picture, which is going to be this, right? Our overall structure is going to be from this order block right here. This is this gigantic drop down that you guys see here. It's all going to be an order block, right? So this right here is an order block. This plus OB right here, this is what matters to us. So this is what matters to us to potentially now respect price, so then go back up higher, look at the liquidity up here, because we know that overall, if we look at structure, overall we're obviously very bullish. And this is where now you can start capitalizing from both ends, because we start seeing down on levels of supply are being rejected. And where was the last level where price obviously mitigated? Would be up here. This would be the last level. So this would be a target that you would basically be focused on, where we have that last mitigation, where potentially now price could start rejecting, hit that, drop down lower, but that could be a level where we are focused on, and we're looking for this overall level, which would be up here. Any show. I struggle to understand the concept of liquidity, how where to spot it, and then use it. Well, liquidity is everything, right? Liquidity is what drives the market, so you have to understand that first, and you have to understand, you know, where or when does the liquidity happen. Liquidity happens anywhere. It could happen from equal lows, it could happen from equal highs, it could happen from trending, it could happen from sessions, it could happen from news. Like, liquidity is basically anything that the market, how the market kind of thrives, right? Because market moves from liquidity to liquidity, you know? It can be a little bit complex, but it's not really hard, you know? When you're trading, try to have things as simple as possible. I do trade a little bit more, I would say, like, not even complicated, but I do add a lot of stuff to my chart, because to me, trading is art. So I like to have always like my stuff written down, but if you look down to it, my trading is very simple. I just look for liquidity, breaks of structure, and then capitalize from there. So what happened here, right? If we look at now, we have a level of supply that first got now turned into demand. So this would be our breaker here. I'm looking at that now as we speak. We still haven't hit the 50%, so that's something that I'm focused on as well. And now I'll be looking for another level of supply to be made, and then level of demand to be made, and then I could take my level all the way back up to here. Here I'll be a break even, and here will be my overall TP. Simplicity is key, is so true. Indeed, my brother. Indeed. I'm gonna go ahead and take this a short, like a small setup here, and just kind of gear up for price to do its thing real quick. Like, I'm not in it, but I am looking at price to go back up higher here, and I'm waiting for a kind of a new level of demand to be made. Interesting looking so clean. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Trading is art, is how I see it. So I really want to see now this kind of respect here. I want to see this respect and then go back up higher and now make a new level of structure here for me to be content with taking these longs, or even just make a smaller time frame. Like, if you guys think about it here, there's also substructure, which is going to be like the second time frame structure. Obviously I don't have the seconds in here, but if we look at seconds, there's going to be structure here. So even just these little wicks being broken, if I can get some type of order block being respected and shown, I will be willing to take this long here. Because when I'm looking for the overall structure, which is this, right, this for this trend, I don't really need to see much. I just need to see one small break of structure, and then from there I'll take it. When I'm looking at smaller term structure, then there I'm looking for extra confirmation, because the overall structure is obviously bullish. So when I'm looking for the overall structure, I can go for, when I'm looking for the overall structure, I'm looking for just one break. When I'm looking for the short term structure, I'm looking for multiple breaks, because it's shorter time frame structure that I'm looking to hit the overall structure. I hope it doesn't get too complicated. Oh my god, look at gold. I'm in this long too. It's so crazy. What a fucking shit's flying. That's so beautiful for gold. Like, wow. Look at that level that we marked off also as demand. Like, so easy to trade stuff sometimes. Just don't overcomplicate it. You'll be fine. Like, perfectly fine. So we just hit the 50% of this order block here, or this breaker here. We can start seeing price now go back up higher. Now I'm looking for potential reversals for price or continuing price continuing to go back up higher here. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, guys. I mean, not much to trade here. I'm waiting for the setup here to happen with US30, but price looks a little bit too stuck. We should go back up higher and take off the liquidity up here, but I mean, we already took our profit for the day with those sells. So I'm gonna just end it here. I'll see you guys again tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. EST. Take it easy, guys. Peace, my brothers.